Hello, my name is Sergeant Anthony Edward Lewis, United States Army Infantry, retired. Today is March 4th, 2022. Friday. It's Friday night. Yay. I still need to do something to my hair. Looking like Doc Brown. I was listening to the news. I listen to the news all the time. I keep the news on, especially NPR. And I heard, don't miss this. This is important. This is subtle, and it'd be easy to miss. President Biden has just authorized we've completed the process that Biden authorized, the military aid to the Ukraine. Do you remember what it was that Trump was impeached for the first time? Holding hostage aid like what we're sending to the Ukraine now. And what was it that Trump wanted in exchange for this aid that had already been approved by Congress, a bureaucracy that's not set up to facilitate in an expedient manner any damn thing? Do you remember what it is that Trump was impeached for? Holding hostage the aid that, guess what? We can't get to them fast enough now. I'm furious. I am sick of this. I'm sick of this. You have people who insist that the best president our country has ever had was Trump. They still fucking believe that stupid shit. Turn on the news. Evidence of the fact that Trump was the worst disaster our country ever had is because of the war that's happening over in Ukraine right now, that he helped facilitate, that he helped make necessary. There is no greater proof of that than what we're able to see in the news right now. And regardless of whether or not Trump is convicted of a crime for his business dealings, this is evidence of a war crime. Giving aid and comfort to a war criminal like Putin. Is anybody else seeing this? You know, a reason why I cry every night, the reason why I'm angry every day, have been for what feels like a week. Well, really, it's longer than that. It's because I see a righteous cause. The kind of cause that was actually the cause for the creation of the very country that we all live in right now being ignored. The Ukrainians are fighting for a chance at a democracy that we take for fucking granted. I'm stunned and amazed that more people in this country don't understand what is really most remarkable about what's happening in that part of the world right now. We, as a country, had a chance and an opportunity to help make sure that shit like this doesn't happen. But you know what? Elections have consequences. We put Trump in fucking office. And as soon as we did, guess what ended up happening as a consequence of that? Everything that you see happening now, all these people who are dying in the Ukraine right now, part of the blood that's being spilled in the streets there is our fault. We fucking did this. Each and every last one of us that did not stand against it thought that we stood to gain in some way by standing up or standing next to those who were standing for it. Again, if you're watching this video, You're somebody I love and I care about. Want to share my thoughts? I've had a few people ask my opinion, and sometimes it's very, very hard because my emotions get tied up in this, and I get really emotional. Just wish more people would care about the principles involved. Don't miss this moment. You don't want to say that you weren't paying attention. There's something to be learned of all of this. There's a lot that we will need to be able to remember about this moment. Because when the time comes for people to go into the ballot box and pick the next generation of leaders, hopefully there'll be some incentive to do a better judge, be better prepared to judge people based on their character and not their rhetoric. It's always been in our ability, it's always been in our creed to strive to do better and not accept hate, fear as motivating factors. It ought to be clear, established, and understood. Our political process doesn't work that way. It never was intended to work that way. The Founding Fathers insisted that we have in our Constitution the Second Amendment. And if you read it carefully, you see it states expressly you have the right to have and bear arms for the purpose of doing what? Protecting our democracy. Not personal security. No, your personal safety is separate and aside from your right to have and bear arms. You have the right to have and bear arms so that you can join a militia to protect our democracy and our government from a violent insurrection. The people that wanted to violently overthrow our government. The Founding Fathers had a solution for that. It was called the Second Amendment. It was designed to ensure that, guess what? Everybody not at the Capitol at the time that they were trying to stop the certification of the Electoral College had a right to stop them. That is what the Second Amendment stands for. Those people who were attacking Capitol Police. You know what? The Capitol wouldn't have been attacked if instead of Capitol Police we had Marines on board. Because Marines wouldn't have accepted that kind of nonsense. And your average American, I strongly suspect, would think again about attacking a United States Marine at the U.S. Capitol for any goddamn reason. At any rate, no. The Second Amendment was set up to ensure that we always had the option, the constitutionally protected right, to stop people like the insurrectionists. Amazing, isn't it? But it's the insurrectionists who insisted the Second Amendment was established to ensure that they would always have a right to overthrow that government. The people in Ukraine right now are fighting for the right even to one day be able to have a democracy like ours. And we are fighting amongst ourselves by a faction, promoted mostly by a faction that wants to destroy that democracy. Yeah, I'm very, very, very angry. I spend my days just feeling angry. Wake up, angry. Go to sleep, disappointed and angry. Because the very strong impression I've gotten is that most people are not spending any time thinking about this. It affects all of us, and too many of us don't even know that the shit's going on. And that's unfortunate. The people that hate Biden so much, they hate the fact that they can't keep the rest of our country as ignorant as them. That's really a big part of what is tearing our country down. A small group insisting that if they can't stay in power, if they can't rule economically, politically, and socially, we're going to flip the game board over. If we can't win, nobody will win. That kind of hateful, spiteful, anti-patriotic contempt and disrespect for our country. I hate it. And I'm wondering, am I the only one that hates it? I'm going to cut it short. I invite you to like, subscribe, comment. I wish that I could say that I can see an end to this. Part of what it is I hope will happen, regardless of however long it lasts, is that more people here in America will see there's a connection between what's happening overseas right now and our quest for finding our center here in America. Who we are as a people can be seen, is reflected in how we strive to help this other besieged foreign ally of ours. In the Army, we have a creed. I will put the mission first. I'll never quit. I'll never accept defeat, and I will never fucking fail to save a fallen comrade. Every soldier and every Marine in our military learns this first in boot camp and remembers it for the rest of their lives. There are some kingdom principles and some timeless universal truths tied up in this creed. It's important for each and every soldier to be able to remember this, but if you consider yourself to be a Christian, yeah, your faith requires something of you. You're being called right now, even if you refuse to hear it. We are being called. This is our moment. How do you know this is our moment? Because you're being called. Being called to action. You're going to stand and fight or make excuses. Talk to you again soon.